we go. Full screen. And we are live. And welcome to the Awesome Barriers and Breakthroughs show. Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to the B&B show, Barriers and Breakthroughs. With your host, Michelle Paul, the Pain Whisperer, a show that talks about how to fix your pain. So get ready for the B&B show.
Love that. I love it. It gets stuck in your head.
Absolutely.
My 8-year-old is even talking about it. There we go. So back to full screen. So welcome to Facebook Live, and all of y'all. We have a wonderful guest today. This is Tessie Wendell. She is the owner. She calls herself an event artist, and that is because she is very creative. She is the owner of Artistic Celebrations, which is an event planning business. She does several other things, which we're going to talk about today, and you're going to learn all about her. I actually met Tessie probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and she is a very creative person and has given me awesome ideas. And not only that, is she's a great networker too, and she's a great community builder. She does some amazing things in the community. And so the purpose of Barriers and Breakthroughs show is it's called Barriers and Breakthroughs for a reason. Barriers meaning you've had problems, whether it's pain that you have when you're trying to get fit, injuries that you've had, pain in your entrepreneurship as a business owner, trying to own a business, pain in just having a family and trying to manage everything that you do, time management. So what the purpose of the show is to learn about barriers people have had and the breakthroughs that have helped them overcome that. And so Tessie she's amazing because she's a very strong individual. She's had some pain, which we'll talk about as well. And anyway, I just want you to tell us, start us off anyway, telling us a little about how you got started into event planning and why is that your passion? Okay. And maybe what you did before that, because I don't know that much about what you did before as well.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm very excited to be here. So thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. We've built a really good friendship in the last few years, and especially recently because of my pain. And like Michelle was talking about with barriers, I think I've hit about every single one of the ones that you mentioned. So not only with the business, in the family, with the pain, with my health issue, with my working out after I had my last child, and then I would also like to add some emotional barriers that I think also block us from reaching our breakthrough with other things, because once we get past the emotional, I think we're able to mentally also break through on some of those barriers. So I love event planning. It's what I do. It's why I call myself an event artist. I know there's definitely a lot of people out there that is really creative just like me, but I have my parents to thank for that. When I was young, my mom saw that I was really crafty. I love crafting. If I could craft every day of my life, I'd probably be the happiest woman alive. But so she used to buy me different things, and I used to make wreaths, like hanging wreaths.
Yeah.
And she would just buy me dollar store stuff or little things on sale at Michael's, and she would tell me, be as creative as you can. And if I made a mistake, she would teach me, peel it off, redo, work around it, and that's how I just learned to be really creative, was just with the tools that I had and being really resourceful and using my out-of-the-box thinking skills. So it advanced into, so my degree by trade, I was a teacher. I'm a secondary education. I did secondary education, and I specialized in history. So I taught for 15 years in the school system.
She's taught some amazing school districts too, like
Yes.
not, some difficult school districts, which, that takes creativity trying to, right?
Yes,
like trying
absolutely.
to keep kids, entertained or interactive. Yeah.
Yes. And because of my creativity, my classroom was such, like I had a theme every year. I had interactive boards. My kids got up and moved around, and we created a lot of things in the classroom. So I spent a lot of time doing the planning outside of just regular lesson plans. And I loved what I do then, and I still say I do it now because that's one of the things that I think helps me in the event world is that I'm able to educate my clients on what it takes to have a good event and what you're going to need, and being able to educate them on the ways to make it happen, especially with budgets, because that is the big thing with events especially. So I think it's still a part of who I am, is educating people on a good event. And so I did that for 15 years, and I did this part-time. So I still did events on the side, invested a little bit after I got married into some equipment because we did children's parties. So invested in some like moonwalks and things like that. And then people just started asking me to do more. And then it just kind of blew up into my husband saying, we need to do this professionally. Started doing it, and then I met someone in B&I, Kelly Kronfeld.
Yeah, Kelly.
She introduced me, invited me to come.
Kelly.
Yes, we love Kelly.
Awesome, we've got some good people.
I
Khalil.
Yes, hi guys.
Hey guys.
All our old B&I friends.
Yeah, great.
So I visited B&I, and I just felt like it was time. And I literally took a step of faith and jumped right in and joined B&I within 2 weeks and became a networking queen after that.
Awesome. Yeah, so we got some good people on. Amy, Mike Khalil, my sister's mother-in-law, Beatrice Paz, Cindy. Yeah, so one thing I do want to mention, if any of you are in this area, we have sponsors. So I do want to let you know, Racer's Edge Hand Car Wash is a great hand car wash in Pearland. So anybody that is watching the show, if you can just come in to Racer's Edge, it's on 1980 Country Place Parkway, mention that you saw the B&B show, then you get a free deluxe car wash. So for those of you who are watching, that is a great perk for you. And of course, Live to Live is another sponsor. So we'll be putting your names in a drawing for a free breakthrough session, which is a $100 value, and a lot of great coaching by Rochelle Baum, that's myself. And so any of you, just make sure message me that you listen to the B&B show, and we'll put your name in a drawing. So one thing about Tessie is I did an event. She had an event for me with some doctors, and it was so creative that I know they've been a great referring source to me for physical therapy. And I was really amazed at the creativity that she did. And so if you want to do an event so that people remember what you are and who you are, she's really excellent at that. So I just want to get that in there. You know, one funny thing I will tell you, my husband comes up with some really great little family sayings. You know, with 8 kids, you have to be creative too.
Definitely.
And sometimes our kids will like break things or like just be a little destructive sometimes, especially the boys. Or, you know, ride on the walls or something that, you know, just drives you crazy. Of course, you know what that's like.
Yes.
But my husband likes to, he told the kids one time that dumb people break and smart people make, you know. It's a very easy thing. But, you know, it takes some thought and to be creative. And that's the gift I think people like you have. But, you know, that's something that I hope that you will take away. Like if you want something, a good idea even, you can call Tessie and just ask her about that.
All of our consultations are free. And we were able to do your daughter's graduation party, which was
that's right.
kind of a last minute thing, but it was super fun. And we did a whole talk about a fiesta. So it was a taco theme with the whole fiesta theme, and that we made it come alive, and it was a lot of fun too. So I had a chance to spend a lot of time with her kids and her family, and it was great.
Yeah, super great. So we actually have a commercial. It's on YouTube that I'm going to play. That shows a little bit about what, is that okay if we show that?
Absolutely, I'd love for people to see it.
Yeah, show that right now. And just look up here on the screen. And let's see.
Artistic celebrations, masters in sculpting events through designing envisions, planning journeys, and creating experiences with you in mind. It is the very possibility of customizing an exclusive event that we uphold, while you simply feel the serenity of satisfaction. What if you could get a level of expertise that allowed for stellar service, trained abilities, and the talented capacity that provided the execution of a well-planned experience. It is that very experience that's at the heart of every event, and it is the heartbeat which births life into a lasting memory. It is in the unknown, the unpredictable, and the uncertainty of success. We love the unexpected. We don't believe in surprises. A successful event does not happen by accident or by will. We take each respective role in the production of your event with understanding that the proficiency lies within adequate preparation. I want to welcome you to a world of incredible opportunity. Wonder is found in the imaginations of your community. You have come to the right place for you. Our success is your success. What can we envision together?
Awesome. Woohoo. So, yep, close that. Sorry. There we go. Technical details, but here we're back. So, yeah, that was such, I love that commercial because
Thank you.
it shows like your attention to detail. I mean, you saw all those little goblets,
Yes.
like decorate all of the tables and the chairs, all the colors on there. That's just really awesome. So I hope that impressed any of you that were watching. If you want to do an event, she pays attention to detail, and that is a very, that's why she's an event artist, because it's an artistic person that takes that kind of skill and quality to make it memorable for whoever you have an event for. So,
Thank you.
speaking of that, so I know one thing is if you're doing an event, you have to be on your feet all the time. Woo. So we're going to talk about a little bit of a barrier, because Tessie's come to me as a physical therapist because she's had a few injuries that she's had, and I just want to bring that up a little bit, because in your field you have to be on your feet a lot when you're doing an event. And so anyway, just tell us a little bit about some of the barriers you've had.
So yes, in our line of work, we're standing usually about a 15-hour day sometimes. I mean, if it's a wedding, it could be more than that, because we're the first ones there, we're the last ones to leave. So we make sure everything's taken care of from beginning to end.
Yep.
Well, one of the biggest roles in my life is being a mother. Love my children. I have 3 children now. For those of you that missed that little last one that showed up as a surprise to us. I love my children, but unfortunately my pregnancies, every single one of them was very difficult from the beginning to the end, all 9 months. And not just morning sickness, but I had some major trauma for each pregnancy. And post-pregnancy or post-delivery, I had major feet issues. So with my son, my arches fell.
Ooh.
That was my oldest. With my second child, I got plantar fasciitis. And then with my third child, I started to have pain, and I thought it was the plantar fasciitis, so I did not go to the doctor for a while, until I literally couldn't walk and my foot was discolored. Come to find out, I had a ruptured tendon, and they said that it happens during pregnancy. One of my other barriers was my last child was a twin, and I lost one of the twins at 5.5 months, and so that was also very emotional. So the doctor said the stress and weight, because I had gained so much weight at the beginning, being that it was twins. And so never had heard of it, never knew that something like that could happen. Was put into a cast, got into a boot, and right when they told me, let's try to get out of the boot, let's start doing some things, within that week, I broke my ankle on the same foot.
Oh,
and so I ended up back into a boot. Yes, back into a boot, or back into a cast, and then after the cast, another boot. Well,
okay, I had 8 kids, but I never had like this. So that's amazing. So, yes.
And I commend you for it, because I love children.
I had easy
could've done it,
pregnancies, so
yes.
yeah.
Not one of mine was easy, and I thought the second one will be better than the first, and then that didn't happen. I thought the third one was going to be easy peasy, but God had my steps ordered completely differently than I had expected, and I had to go through it. So I love my children, and I still did the healthy thing as much as I could. Throwing up all the time. So on top of everything, I still had morning sickness. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, so then after being in the boot after the ankle, it was difficult because at that time my child had just started walking, and I was a stay-at-home mom working from home. I do my business from home, and it was very difficult to find time to rest. And so because of that, I started getting stress fractures. And so I stayed in the boot. Basically, my huge barrier here was that I stayed in the boot for 10 months.
Yeah.
And so it didn't stop there, as you know, which is now what we're working on now. And so I had put the weight for so long, those 10 and a half months, I put the weight on my right foot, which, like I said, I had the history of plantar fasciitis. Well, surprise, surprise, right after I got out of that boot and started physical therapy with you, on my left foot, my right foot plantar fasciitis flared up. And that is what I'm dealing with now, so bad that it feels like a heel spur. I can't touch the ground.
Wow.
And I've been in tennis shoes thanks to advice from my physical therapist here to stay in tennis shoes. So
yeah, well, I've had a little bit of that. I was telling Tessie, you know, sometimes in pregnancy you have this hormone called relaxin hormone, which helps your pelvis to relax. It usually makes your joints very lax when you're pregnant. So, and while you're breastfeeding, still you have that hormone, so you can get injuries fairly easy while pregnant and after pregnancy. So. There's a lot of things to learn and watch out for when you're pregnant. So that's probably why the arches fell, because of that relaxin hormone. And so it's important to know that, and you didn't know that. And I didn't have that happen with me, but I've had friends that have plantar fasciitis, and it took them like a year to get over it. And the difficult thing with plantar fasciitis is you have to stay off your feet. And when you have kids and you have a business,
I could use any help. Anyone wants to give me a buzz, offer some help. I did tell my doctor, I said, if you write me a prescription for an all-expense paid vacation, I will do it. But he hasn't written that yet, so I'm still waiting on that.
I'll go with you on that one. I'll massage your feet. No, so yeah, we are working on it, because when you strengthen your muscles, that does help. And you know, when you wear proper heel support and arch support, that does help. But it takes time to get over it, and so. Yeah, so I'm trying to work with her. You don't want to get cortisone shots. No. You've got to have a good podiatrist. Being in the boot that long was really not a good idea, because then your muscles get weaker, and then they don't have the strength to support your weight. So anyway, but that's one of the barriers that you've had. And so one thing is your husband's been a really helpful support. I know sometimes that's important to have good family support. And how has he helped? I ask a lot of people that, because my husband is super helpful.
Yes.
And he can be flexible.
Yes, absolutely. So right now where we're at, my husband's in school full time, but it happens to be in the evening. So I got really lucky with him being at home to be able to help me. And with all of the issues, I mean, not being able to walk, not being able to move around with the kids a lot, he's really just picked up a lot, and the support has just been great. And I think through the pregnancy, all of the emotions that I was talking about, that huge barrier that I was facing, was kind of lifted a little bit as people, started to help around the house. And I have my parents' support, I have my in-law support, so I have a great support system. I have lots of cousins and family and friends who are really close by to assist me. And one of the things that I also learned is, while I was going through all of this, I still had a business to maintain. And then one of the things that I learned to do was to build my team during that time and learn how to execute. And so that has also helped, because now I have built a good team that I know I can trust to go out there and take care of business.
That's
while
great.
I take care of my family.
That's really a great point you bring up, because when things happen, who's gonna take over?
Right.
Like if you have a health problem, I thought of that.
Right.
Who can take over if I'm not there? And so building a team
Absolutely.
is a great breakthrough. Honestly, like if
huge.
you're gonna run a business, you have to have the number 2, or clone yourself if you can, and find that person that can kind of help take over. And that's really great. You've done a good job with that. I wanted to bring up, there's many moms out there, single moms out there, that don't have really good support, that do have their own businesses. I know several that are in my BNI group, or just moms in general, that are trying to survive and take care of their kids. One thing that Tessie does, and if you want to explain a little bit more, she works with the women's shelter, with Life Skills House, which I'm hoping we'll have the owner come and talk to you about that. But tell us a little bit about how you kind of try to help them, develop self-reliance and be able to support themselves as well.
So we are more of a transitional center, so not really the shelter, because we are a second phase, so we're not a rescue home.
Okay.
We are more of the second phase home. We do have our house right now. It's out in Rose Sharon, and we have a phenomenal house mom, and she is just absolutely amazing. And so I met with Leah. She had visited BNI, so I met her there, and then had helped with one of the fundraisers that she did, just helping her with some event logistics, and then decided to become a mentor. Was not a full-blown like mentor. I just kind of helped a little bit here and there, and then I kind of helped with a little bit of the workshops. And then I just started getting really more involved with her and just started spending more time with the girls. So it's been about almost 5 years now, 4.5, 5 years, going on 5 years. And what I do is I just spend time with these young ladies, because I think as I'm going through something, I need to be able to tell somebody else how to break through that. Because we're all going to face barriers, but it's how we get through that and how we break through. We need to be able to share that with somebody else. And I feel like, and Leah taught me this, is I have to go through some things in order to be able to walk somebody else through it. And that's my journey, and that's my part of my spiritual journey, is what God is showing me and teaching me, I must be able to share with them. So I spend a lot of time with the young ladies. Just a couple weeks ago, we did a vision board party, which I think we'll see some pictures in just a little bit. And it was absolutely amazing. We had a lot of fun. And even though it was towards the end of the year, we did small vision board parties. So we just did mini ones, because we just were talking about how we wanted to end the year and what our thoughts were to start 2019. So we're already starting ahead on planning. Because like we said, a lot of our barriers is we can't find the breakthrough because we're at a mental state where we can't get there. And so because I'm trying to get past the mental, I'm trying to help them.
I want you to explain, what is a vision board? Like, a lot of people don't know what that is. You mentioned it to me, but explain what that is. What is a vision board?
It's kind of really big out there, but let me tell you how I approach it. So it is a creative way to just express all of our thoughts. And so what I do is every year I have a word that helps me get through the year. So this year my word was purpose. And so all throughout the year, everything I go through, everything I'm focused on, everything I'm working on, I try to see what is my purpose for it. So I take that word, and that word always goes on top of our vision board. And then what my vision board, I divide it in half, because I have to do my personal and I have to do my business. And then along that line in the middle, I see how they're going to mesh together, because we do have to divide. I mean, you're a mom too, and there's sometimes it just gets, you have to put many hats on, and you can't wear them all at the same time. And so basically what the vision board is all of our ideas, all of our thoughts, all of our plans put in pictures rather than words, because we can talk about ideas all day long. But what I like to do is just take the pictures, because when you have a visual in front of you, what I tell them to do is put it in your bathroom, put it wherever you wake up, and it's right there in front of you. Put it on the way out your door, wherever you feel like you just need to see this vision. It's your vision for what you're going to see for your life ahead of you. So I encourage business owners, especially women, to sit down and do it, because we're visual people. And when we get creative in doing it, we're also driving ourselves to make sure we make that happen.
That's awesome. Okay, all of you that are paying attention, you're going to do a vision board, right?
Yes. I'll be hosting another vision board party soon, so I will stay tuned for that. Follow Artistic Celebrations on Facebook, and we'll definitely share when we're going to be doing the next one.
Yeah, that's a great skill to learn and help you have breakthroughs. You know, if you're trying to reach a goal and have that in front of you all the time, it would help you be more likely to be successful. That's right. That's what it sounds like to me. Hey, let's look at your family. I want you to tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. We're also...
And let's play it here. This is your awesome, beautiful family.
That was on Mother's Day where we dedicated the baby. And this is just the business side of me. The Pearland is because this is where I focus my area of business, but we take events everywhere. We've even gone to San Antonio. I had some more pears there. This is really funny to me because that's my magic fairy dust. A lot of people think event planners come with magic fairy dust. Like, yeah, we just want to make magic happen. So that's my fairy dust. This was just on Friday, my 40th. This is my amazing family, my sister and my parents. Here's our vision board party right here. We just did it. So just real quick, you can see like this young lady said she needs to be in control. That was her word. She needs to be in control. She had a little Wonder Woman there because that was like how she was going to break through there, was to kind of get past it and be a superhero. This young lady was accomplishments. So hers was to just be accomplished. So as you can see, each one had their own little different things. Some had different words, and we just had a lot of fun, and they just did it all in pictures.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay, so. Mary does. I'm going to just stop it right here.
Okay.
At your beautiful family. So, is that the one you want?
The next one. Right there.
Okay. Pause. Okay. Do you want to tell us? I don't know what it can do.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit about that picture right there before.
Okay.
I don't think you're clicking right on it. You're not clicking right on it. I think that's the problem. You're a little bit off on the line there. There you go. There you go. Pause that one. Okay.
Oh.
So this is a very recent picture. This was on Friday, which I turned 40 years old on Friday. And I'm a sapphire. That's my stone for September. So it was a sapphire bonanza. Born and raised here in Texas. I've been a country girl my whole life. Daddy's always had a truck, so I'm a truck girl. And he used to go to Sealy, Texas, and pick the cows and get them cut. So we grew up on steaks, and so that was me. And I've always.
She says y'all, and she says fix it. So, yeah,
and eyes, you know, with the long eye. I have a lot of family up north, and they make fun of us all the time. We don't notice it until you go up there, you know.
And they're like, yeah,
they totally bring out our accents. But this was a big milestone for me because it was a huge breakthrough for me because my mind said I'm going into 40 differently. So I was going into 40 with the new mindset of being healthy, taking care of myself, not being stressed, and not letting the negativity go with me into my next phase in my life. So this was Friday, and you were there to celebrate with me, and that was totally fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a bouncy house, everything.
Yeah, gotta have the kids involved. My kids are a big part of my life. A lot of people are like, why aren't you just having an adult party? You know, at 40, everyone wants to do it. But a big part of who I am is my family. So this is them, my husband.
Okay, so he's the oldest?
He's the oldest, that's Gabriel.
Gabriel.
And this is my middle child, that's Abigail.
Abigail.
And this is our baby, Victoria. And my husband, Errol.
Yes, and then your family too.
Yes, so I have one sister.
Another awesome family.
She lives up north. And my mom and dad, they are here. And my family means everything to me. My mom has been my rock my whole life. Her name is Gracie, and so we literally say she is a walking example of grace. She's taught us how, we used to call her the hostess with the mostest. So my sister and I learned anything, it's because of her.
Hostess with the mostest.
Yes, she's the one that taught us how to serve, how to create, like, you couldn't serve anything out of pots. It had to be in a really pretty white French cornyware. It had to be cleaned around the outside, and every 2 weeks we had to varnish her silver international set. You know, I'm sure by the International Silver Company set. My mom, and even like last week, she still wanted us to do the same set, like clean it. And so because that was important to her, because she wanted people to feel good and she wanted people to have that experience, which is why we feel the same way. It's about food, and it's not just enjoying the food, but it's enjoying the way that it looks. Yeah. It's enjoying people that are around you while you're enjoying the food. And so my mom is my rock, and she has been a little bit ill, which is also another barrier for me because that's my emotional barrier. And another reason why we're wearing the ribbons today, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yes.
My sister has breast cancer, so I'm going to be wearing pink a lot this month.
Yes. And we'd love for everybody else to support it too because it's out there. So please make sure you get your mammograms done because we have had survivors and we've had people that are coming, they relapse. We've had people that haven't survived. Just lost my first cousin a year ago, but I will say this, the doctors gave him 3 months and he survived 9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I believe that's because of his passion and his breakthroughs, because he said he wasn't going to let that affect him. And so he lived life fully. He went on the Israel trip and went on the whole, that he went to the beach with his grandchildren. He lived life. And I think that that's so important for us to find those breakthroughs because it will heal a lot of issues that are causing our barriers.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate all of you've had just a lot of things happen that I've just been amazed how your positive attitude, you're always smiling, you always smile, you're always laughing, and I think that makes a big difference with being able to make it through things, just plus you have great family support, and then you're great support and encouragement to, especially these single women, and just people around you. So I'm super happy to know Tessie. I hope any of you will try and have an event, have her do an event with you, because she's just very creative, she's very positive, just a fun person to be around, and it helps you feel comfortable. She cares about a lot of people. She'll care about you if you meet her. So, and any questions? Let me see if we have some questions here. I'm back. We've been talking all this time. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a bad thing because we've been talking and nobody can hear us, right? Or everybody can hear us and nobody can see.
Any hidden talents?
Okay,
Do I have any hidden talents?
We're back, and
so we did have one question come up from our live audience, here.
Our live audience.
It was, do I have any hidden talents? Is that what it was?
Any questions?
I do play instruments.
All right.
And I was a choir
The
nerd.
nose harp.
Yeah, I was a choir nerd as well, growing up. So
you sing?
I sing. Yeah, I like to think I like to sing. That I can sing.
You sing in the shower?
Yes, and in the car. I think I'm CeCe Winans, or like, you know, she's my favorite gospel singer.
Okay.
And I do a lot of worship, and I think I'm Lauren Daigle in the car, and nobody can tell me anything different. So I just blur it out. But that is also my time with Jesus, because Jesus doesn't care what I do. So, you know, and he wants me to come as I am. So I sing my heart out. That's what I do.
Well, many of you probably heard what I said, but we weren't on the screen. I'm sorry about that. That was a technical glitch that I had. So I wanted to have you reach out. Tell me your website again.
Okay, so our website is not the name. It's Events by AC. So Events, BY, and then AC for Artistic Celebrations, because Artistic Celebrations is so long. So it's www.eventsbyac.com. Now, I will tell you, we don't update our website as much as Facebook. I do a lot of live videos on Facebook.
Okay.
Most of you know I'm not camera shy, so I do a lot of live videos, and we post a lot of our event stuff, and we've been super busy, so I've been behind on posting, which is a good thing. We're not complaining, but we will definitely update you more on Facebook. So if you want to follow us on Facebook, it's Artistic Celebrations. We're on Instagram, Artistic Celebrations, and we also have Pinterest, which we'd love for you to follow us, because that is where we do a lot of our inspirations and share ideas with other people. So we give other people ideas on how to put a whole party together. And you can look at any one of our boards, and that's Artistic Celebrations as well on Pinterest.
Okay.
And LinkedIn too.
Super great. You've got some great people. Hi, Yvette. Claudia Allen. Hey, Claudia. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias por estar aquí.
There's
Kelly.
Debbie. She's one of our B&I partners. Yay,
Kathy.
Debbie.
She's one of my high school friends.
Any
Odie
questions for
Travels. Yeah. Anybody have any questions?
Hi, Odie.
TJ was on. We love TJ. Shonda. Oh, she's one of my patients. Hey, Shonda. I miss you. I hope you're doing okay. I'd love to help you if I need to.
So I do want to talk
¿Cómo
about
estás?
the people that are joining us, because I think it's amazing, because like you said before, I'm huge on networking.
Yeah.
But let me tell you the power of networking, because I think people fail to see it. So I go to networking groups, and yes, I was a networking queen, but my biggest thing is you got to be able to figure out how to collaborate with those people. So don't just go to a networking event and grab a card. Go to a networking event, make a conversation, talk to people, figure out what they could do, because there are some very odd businesses that you wouldn't think I've been able to collaborate with, but I have. I mean, and we know that we've been able to work with a lot of businesses, and it's just what we can offer, because just because we say event planning doesn't mean it's just a party. We do a lot of marketing, because it's promotion, right? We're trying to do promotional events. And so those are some of the things that we do, but it takes a conversation. So, you know, make time for coffee, make time to have that conversation. So it's not just about getting a business card and trying to add us to, you know, a database, but make some time to have a conversation when you go to these networking things, because I think the most important thing about networking is that you got to figure out how to collaborate with one another. And that's what's going to make us a strong community.
Great information. That's like a breakthrough, honestly, for me, is going to some of these network events in Pearland. Pearland is a great community. I want all of you all to know that. Like, people are so friendly. You don't know, because as soon as you start talking to people are super friendly. And so don't be afraid if you're starting a business or you want to meet people, join. There's a lot of groups, as you know, on Facebook. There's a lot of groups in Pearland, but reach out to each other. That's what's great about a community, is when people care about each other. They care about supporting each other's businesses. And, because they're paying for people to support their families and put their kids in school. And so there's a ripple effect. And so having a strong community is super important. So she's a great example of that. She's born here, raised here, and her family's done that for so many people. So anyway, so something like crazy that you've done that is fun, like trip, something crazy. Embarrassing?
Maybe not embarrassing.
Like I'm sure with an event, something crazy happened and you fixed it. I'm sure you fixed it.
There's a lot, and I think I stay really calm. That's one of my huge
You're
breakthroughs is stay
Yeah.
very calm.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I always have a plan to have a plan B. So I'm very calm. I walk through things. I think my team probably panics more, and they're always like, calm down, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, I'm totally fine. As long as my clients don't get freaked out, we're good. But we've had a lot of things happen. We've had fire marshals show up. We've had the Texas comptroller show up.
Okay.
At our big events, we do expos. So if you don't have your, Texas permit there, so it's been some crazy things happen, but I stay really calm and we work through it. And I think this is a God-given talent is I'm really good with people, and because I am a good talker.
Yeah.
I can either talk you till your ears bleed, or I can talk you out of a situation. So we're good.
Well, I love talking to Tessie, and I hope you all have enjoyed learning some of the things that she has shared with us today. I'm going to keep working with her pain.
Yes.
Because plantar fasciitis takes a long time, and you have to be patient. And I'm trying to help her so she doesn't have to be on her feet and help her with her team. But anyway, massage her feet or stretch her out or make sure she's doing her exercises like she should.
And thank you for staying on top of me. I appreciate it.
Well, I love Tessie. I'm so glad you came on. Hope all of you all try her out. And for those of you that have joined, remember our sponsors as well, Racers Edge Hand Car Wash. Go ahead and mention it that you listen to the B&B show live, and you can get a free deluxe car wash. They do a great job. And of course, Live to Live. I would love to have a breakthrough session with you, which includes a 3-month free membership to all of my videos and workout program that will help keep your muscles strong, help you prevent injuries, and not have pain. So that's the right way. You do the fundamentals, you lift weights, keep your body strong, and you can perform a lot better and be healthier. So anyway, I would love to have you, and make sure to join us next week. We're going to have a great guest. I'm hoping it's going to be the Life Skills house owner that we briefly talked about today. Well, she'll talk about how she helps some of these single moms transition from shelter and get back into the community, becoming self-reliant. It's a great concept, I think. Other people should replicate in other communities. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us on the Barriers and Breakthroughs show. We hope to see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And have a great week. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Figure out how to close it off. Is it up? Yeah, can you help me here? Go to the bottom. There we go.